Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today for this exclusive webinar with Humanitas University in Italy. Today's webinar will be going on for 1 hour. In the first half, we will have the presentation and then we'll move on to the Q&A session. During the Q&A session, you can type your questions and then we'll be answering them. And today we have Ms. Serena from Humanitas University. Over to you, Ms. Serena.
Thank you, Zara. Thank you for welcoming and welcome everybody. So I'm Serena. I work at Humanitas for the recruitment department, and I'm really happy to be here today to share a little bit of information about our university and our international courses. And I would say also about our campus. Together with me, there's one of our students, Abdallah, that is connected. And after my, let's say, institutional presentation, we'll be able to talk a little bit about the experience here as a student. And then we'll be really happy to answer all your questions. So let's start by sharing the presentation. Just one moment of patience and we'll be ready. Okay, so we are ready. So here, first of all, what you see is a real picture of our campus. We are a campus university. We love to call us and define us as a campus university. And the reason is that we really are a campus, and this is a quite unique situation here in Italy and in the surrounding area, as we have all this green space that you see in this picture with all the buildings that are part of our university really next to each other. We have the main building that you see here in the center dedicated to all didactic activities. Then on the right, we have the building dedicated to services, and on the left, the building dedicated to research. In front of these buildings is Humanitas Hospital. So everything is here and creates an environment which is really functional to learn and put in practice what students learn. Here you have another beautiful picture of our city, Milan. Basically, we are in the southern part of Milan because the campus, of course, requires space. But the important thing about being in Milan, and in particular in this region, is that the healthcare system here is considered a model in Italy and is recognized as one of the most important in Europe. And in this scenario, Humanitas is a big and recognized hospital with around 800 beds and many different patients, Italian, but that comes also from abroad. And this is an information that we consider as fundamental for students who want to approach studies in medicine. As I was saying before, we have a sort of cycle. So we have clinical activities that are linked to research and also to education. So all these activities are run together here in the same place by professionals who live in the same areas and have many opportunities to keep in touch and to cooperate. What about our courses? We have 2 international courses, along with other courses that are taught in Italian language only. But as for the ones that are taught in English language, we have 2. We have one, let's say traditional one, in medicine and surgery, with space for 200 students. And of these 200 students, 50 every year are non-European students coming from all over the world. While the MedTech school, and now I'll talk a little bit about both medicine and MedTech, we have 100 places where 20 are for non-European students. So what about our medicine and surgery degree course? It is a master's degree, a single cycle master degree that you access straight after high school. So in order to access it, we require 12 years of scholarship and diploma of the high school. There's an admissions test that we'll talk about later. All our classes are, let's say, full-time classes that take place Monday to Friday from the morning until the afternoon. And courses based on integrated modules, where you have different subjects combined into, let's say, huge and bigger subjects. For example, let me provide you with an example. When you study an anatomical district, for example, the head and neck area, you don't study all the aspects separately. So you don't have biology and then anatomy and then pathology all in separated courses, but you study all these aspects of that specific anatomical district. So when studying that part of the body, you study its biology, its pathology, and all other aspects that interest that part of the body. Now, of course, I'm making it simple, but the important concept is this, is that integrated modules let students learn how to think in a wide way, okay? So they get used to analyze different aspects of the same problem. What about clinical activities? We have clinical activities that start on the third year when students start going to the hospital. They have their own locker. So basically they end their lectures, their frontal lectures, they leave everything in the locker and they walk directly to Humanitas Hospital. So it's a 5-minute walking from the main building to the hospital in an internal street in the campus. We also have research tracks dedicated to students who are highly motivated in research, and also some honors tracks that are not listed here, but that we developed over the course of, let's say, the past 2 years, for students really interested in specific fields of medicine, like oncology, gynecology, and so on. So they are specific tracks that they can attend during their lectures, to be followed by tutors and practice extra hours in the hospital or in the research labs. What about practical activities? Of course, they are performed starting from the third year, going to the hospital, but they're also performed during the first and second year, because our students are always encouraged to practice, to put in practice what they learn. And before going to the hospital, they start doing that in small group activities like case study, CMAPs, case methods, and so on. So all alongside to all the frontal lectures, we also have practical activities to be performed in small groups during the year, tutored by doctors and professors to also develop practical skills. And then going to the 5th and 6th year, students have the opportunity to put in practice what they have learned during their first years in the simulation center with high fidelity scenarios. So we have some mannequins that we have some pictures about, and I'll show you them in a couple of minutes, that allow our students to practice in a safe environment. So basically, we have high fidelity scenarios where these mannequins react in a different way according to what the student decides to do. So for each scenario, of course, there's something wrong and something correct to do, and according to what the student decides to do, something different happens. All these activities are recorded, and students can, after the activity, rewatch themselves and discuss about what happened with their tutor, who is a doctor, and then repeat the activity so that they can avoid making and repeating the same mistakes. Of course, this is a great opportunity to practice something really close to reality, but in a safe environment before actually going to the hospital and practicing hands-on directly on our patients. What about the MedTech school? Of course, all the main features of the medicine and surgery as per the course structure, the practical approach, and the integrated modules is the same. But what really changes is that this degree is a combination of medicine and surgery and biomedical engineering. In fact, this degree was designed together with Politecnico in Milan. And at the end of the 6 years, 2 different degrees are achieved by the students. One is a master's degree in medicine and surgery released by us, so Humanitas University. And the other one is a bachelor degree in biomedical engineering released by the Politecnico in Milan. So this innovative course puts together medicine and engineering to develop doctors of the future who have, of course, medical competencies, but of course, engineering competencies. What can students do after graduating? Well, they can go on working in hospitals with clinical life and activities. So, for example, they can decide to access a residency program and go on as doctors in hospitals, but still they will have more, let's say, hard skills and engineering skills if compared to other doctors. Or they can decide if they're really interested in developing technology in the health sciences field to work in the industry or in research, to be driver of technological innovation, for example, in pharma and biotech industries, and in general to drive scientific innovation. These, as I was saying before, are some pictures about our simulation center, and the high fidelity scenario monkey is the one that you see in the center. Well, this slide is a nice slide, an important slide, in my opinion, dedicated to student experience and in general to student life here at the campus. So, of course, there's a lot to study when you start one of these courses, but there's also some other activities that for 6 years students, of course, want to do. So, of course, there are some services like the ones that you see listed: library, canteen, the study house, a language lab, a counseling service, a specific service dedicated to special education needs students. But also we have some nice projects, especially for what concerns internationalization. So we have some Erasmus Plus programs that allow students to go abroad, especially during summer, to practice some internships in different realities that we have some agreements with, but also that they find. And we also have some travel grants. So again, is a sort of form of funding to support students who want to spend some weeks during Christmas time or during summertime to make an internship experience abroad. We also have student societies that are really growing fast these days. Some of them are, for example, the Indian Society, the Africa Society, so they reunite students from the same geographical area. Some others reunite students with the same scientific interests. For example, we have the Neuro Society, the Ortho Society, and so on. And we also have some teams as per sports, for example, a volleyball team, a paddle team, a football team, and so on. So many different activities that are student run, basically, and that involve all our students. Now, a little of, let's say, administration that is important for these courses, as the admission is linked to a test. There's an admission test that candidates have to register for and take. And only if this test is passed, students can be in a ranking list and can be admitted according to the number of available places and, of course, their position in the ranking list. So what it is important to remember is that for medicine and surgery, the admissions test will take place in February on 2 different days, the 5th and the 26th. The deadline to register for these tests is January the 28th. So there's still around 2 months left to register for the test. And what about the content? It is a 60 multiple choice question test, all about logics. So 30 are about scientific thinking and 30 are about academic literacy. Students take the test. It is completely online, so it must be taken at home on your own computers. You get a final score, and with that score, you are in a ranking list. When you register, you pay a quote of 180 euros, and you can choose for the same price to take the test on one day or on both days. Of course, we always suggest to take the test of both days so that you can practice, and we will consider your best and highest score for the final ranking list. As per the medtech school, of course, the mechanism is the same. So we have an admission test that has to be taken online at home on your computer. You have to register online, you have to pay a fee, and you can choose whether to take it on one day or on both days. The first date is March the 21st, and the second one is April the 11th. But in this case, currently it is not possible to register because we still have to publish the call for applications. It will happen in January. So in January, if you're interested in this course, you can register for the admissions test and then take the admissions test. And also pay attention because even contents are different. In this case, we have 60 multiple choice questions, but it is a more traditional admissions test, let's say. So we have 20 questions on mathematics, 10 on logical reasoning, 10 on biology, 10 on chemistry, and 10 on technical scientific culture. Of course, we are available, and Dr. Kadri agency is always available to provide you with technical and specific information about where to find the call for applications and how to practically register for the admissions test. Fees are flat for non-European students. So tuition fees are of 23,000 euros per year. And we have available scholarship that they are partial scholarships of 18,000 euros per year. And we have 2 for medicine and 2 for medtech. They are assigned according to your position in the ranking list, and they are meant to be kept. So according to whether the student is on track with his exams or not, the scholarship can be kept even until the end of the 6th year. Now, I leave you with a short video that can really provide you with an idea about what studying here at Humanitas University means. And then me and also our student, after the short presentation of himself, will be available for questions. So thank you. Okay, so thank you for your attention. And Abdullah, maybe you want to introduce yourself as a student?
Of course. Salam everyone. My name is Abdullah. I am a Palestinian student here doing medtech school, fifth year, and I'm joining this webinar from campus, um, from the university. In fact, Humanitas University is a great institute for growth, personal growth, career-wise, um, and it is really a complete ambient or environment for you to grow mentally as a person, as a doctor, and as an engineer if you are interested in the medtech course I'm doing. Um, in fact, it is also associated with the hospital, which has been ranked the top hospital in the whole of Italy nationally for the third consecutive year. Um, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about what I did as a student here at Humanitas. Um, I I participated in so many um, programs, exchange programs as well outside of Humanitas, beside the growth I've been having here. Going to the hospital. In fact, this morning I was in the hospital training, and then in the afternoon we have classes, lessons. That's in the advanced years. First years are more theoretical. You get many classes um, and lessons. Later, more advanced years, you get more hands-on training in the hospital, in a more professionalized way. Um, and the Humanitas University provides as well many exchange programs in which you can discover the medical practice in different countries beside Italy, which is a great system with its flaws, of course, but it's a great model in which you can learn a lot and be the the most competent doctor you could strive for. For example, I went to train in Jordan and the US, and it's all been with the coordination of Humanitas University with different exchange programs. Talking about traveling as well, as a student here, of course, the program is serious with many duties as a student, and you're gonna be busy behind lectures, studying, exams, and all of that. But at the same time, uh, you you can really manage your time and get to do your hobbies, the hobbies you like. For example, I like traveling, and I've been traveling beside traveling for my studies. I travel as well as a hobby in Europe and outside Europe. Um, Milan as well is also a city that is worth discovering. It is a unique place in the world generally, and in Italy especially, because it's an international city in which you can get to meet so many people from all around the world. You can connect with different people, and you can learn a lot and from the city itself and from the Italian culture. All in all, um, Italian living in Italy is particular in its ways. First of all, I can't deny that the food here is great. Uh, I no one can say no to a Napolitan pizza or espresso, and the interaction with the Italian people has been not disappointing at all. Italian people are really welcoming and really warm in that sense. Um, and for that, also, if you're like me, I really am into languages. I really like to learn languages as much as possible. But Italian has really a special place in my heart. It's really a musical language in which you can enjoy even learning it and practicing it. Um, and it's really close to many other Latin languages, Roman languages, in effect, but deriving from being derived from Latin, for example, Spanish, French, Romanian. And you can get, as a student here, to do a lot of activities, extracurricular activities. For example, we have many sport clubs. We have many student unions, and you can get to participate in the university. Like 4 years ago, I was one of like you. I attended webinars like these. I attended one webinar with Humanitas University, and I made sure I want to make Humanitas my home. I felt like at that time that Humanitas could give me the opportunity to do what I really like to do and to study what I was uh, passionate about. And in fact, it was never disappointing. Here I am after 4 years. I'm participating uh, in a webinar talking about my university, talking about my life here as a student. Um, Beside that, I also am an ambassador for Humanitas, which means that we have a special program in which prospect students like yourselves could ask questions directly to Humanitas students. You can find us and contact us via the Humanitas website. I'm one of the ambassadors, and you can contact any ambassador in any time you want for further questions or for any inquiries that you might have. In conclusion, as I said, I was one of you 4 years ago, and I just concentrated on what I thought I like and I like, passionate about, and I made a decision that I'm gonna get in. Then comes the preparation for the exam. You should not. Uh, Anyways, you could be worried, which is justified, but it is a step that you can uh, pass with enough time management and dedication. This is my message for you. I hope that was useful, and would be happy for any questions regarding student life and here at Oman's University, or any other questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abdullah, for sharing your experience, and Ms. Serena as well for the detailed presentation. So I think that was very informative. So we'll move on to the Q&A session now. And students, you can type your questions in the Q&A box. This is a button at the center bottom of your screen. I can already see a couple questions pouring in, so I guess we'll begin. First question is by Zulfiqar. He's asking, when will the next set of exams after February be in 2025?
Okay, so I can answer this question. I guess you are interested in the medicine and surgery degree course. We have admissions tests every year, once a year. So you can attend this admissions test in February 2025 if you already achieved your high school diploma or if you are attending the last year of high school right now. Otherwise, you will have to wait until the following year, so 2026.
All right. Abdul is asking, how many days of clinical training do students take in year 3?
It's a total of around 20 days.
All right. Kabir is asking, what is the lowest IELTS score you need and what other exams are required to apply?
Basically, there's no IELTS requirement, so there's no need to have an IELTS certification because the admissions test itself is in English language. So we already know and test your English with the admissions test, and no other certifications or exams are required, but still you are required to speak a little of Italian, a medium level of Italian by the third year, because on that year you start going to the hospital, and there, of course, doctors speak English, but our patients are Italian for the major part.
All right. Question by Abdul. He's asking, I think this is a question for Abdullah. Why did you do your training in Jordan?
Okay, so that training was in my summer of the third year, and it was extra. I did that beside the training I am obliged and I get to do here at Humanitas, and I got extra credits for that. I just wanted to discover how the medical practice is like there. But you can contact any doctor here, and in fact, all doctors here are cooperative and would be happy to teach. No, it was totally extra.
All right. Question by Anwar. Anwar would like to know about the details on the type of scholarship available for the medical program.
Yes, okay. So basically, we guarantee every year two scholarships that are partial. So they are worth 18,000 per year out of a total 23,000 tuition fee. So it means that basically students who are assigned this scholarship has a tuition fee to pay of 5,000 per year. So every year we guarantee two scholarships. Then the number may vary and increase according to the donations and funds that we receive year by year. For example, the current academic year, 24-25, we have 3 scholarships for medicine, for example. They are assigned according to the positions of students in the ranking list, and students are considered eligible for a scholarship if they are among the first 10 positions of the final non-European students ranking list. So those who rank in the first 10 position can require or basically have the right to be assigned a scholarship according to the number of scholarships. So in case we have 3 scholarships available, they are assigned to the first 3 positions. Of course, if the first 3 students don't accept the position, so they don't enroll, we scroll down the ranking list until when we assign all the available scholarships.
All right. Question by Noor. Noor is asking, do the students have to take 3 A-level subjects in the British curriculum?
So we require, in case of A levels, yes, we require 3 A levels, and they have to be in scientific subjects.
All right. Hiba is asking, can she still do the entrance exam if she does not have her high school diploma and is currently studying in the grade 12?
Yes, you can take the admissions test even if you are attending the last year. So you can take the admissions test in February, even if you are still completing the last year of high school. The important thing is that when you arrive here, so we are talking about September 2025, you have completed high school.
All right. Question by Noor, is there any age requirement for the admission?
No.
Okay. Question by Neil, after completion of the medicine and surgery course, will the students get a license to practice in Italy, and do they have to give any special exam for the license? If the license is issued, then is it valid only in Italy or Europe as well?
Okay, that's a good question. So when you complete the 6 years, you don't have to take any additional or extra exam to obtain the license to practice. I'm talking about Italy. So you complete the 6 years and you discuss your thesis, and that thesis is considered as a license to practice as well. So in Italy, you don't need to take any extra exams. Then, of course, if you want to access a specialty school because you want to specialize in a specific field, you will have to access a residence program, a specialty school program. That license to practice is commonly, let's say, recognized in Europe as the title itself. There might be some small changes according to country and country. It really depends on the specific country and the laws of that moment. So there might be some bureaucratic operations to do if you want, for example, to go to Germany or France and work there as a doctor. In general, consider that if you want to work in clinical environment, so in a hospital, a specialty program is required in any case.
All right. Next question is by Kabir. How is the university life for Syrian students? Is there any exceptions?
I'm not sure I got the question. I mean, we do have some Syrian students, um, but we're
I
really,
can
yeah.
I can add, yes. We have a diversity of students here from all over the world, generally, and from the Arab world, especially. And yes, I we have Syrian students. I have a really good friend in sixth year medicine and surgery, and he's doing great. I don't know about the exceptions. I didn't get that part.
All right.
I think he's asking about the tuition fees waiver or a discount being a Syrian, and
I
so
see.
just
Uh, I would say no, unfortunately. So for all non-European students, the tuition fee is flat. Then for special cases, but I'm really speaking in general, I do know some students coming from different parts of the world with specific and tough personal situations. We supported them in different ways, economical, practical, and so on. But in general, I would say no, there's no different policy as per tuition fees.
Okay. Question by Mayar. Is the certificate awarded at the end of the medicine program, master's or bachelor's?
It is a master's degree.
All right.
okay. I would just like to add here, when you say master degree, it does not mean that you are a specialist. Like in other countries, like in India, Pakistan, or in other countries, when you talk about MD means that you are a specialist. So here, this is a master degree, means one cycle master degree, but again at the end you will become a GP. You will not be a specialist. So keep in mind the difference between MD here and MD in other parts of the world, where MD means that you are a specialist, like surgeon or gynae or ENT. Here you will still become a GP, but it's a master degree. That means if you want to go for PhD after this MD, you can go directly. While in India, Pakistan, or in other countries, when you finish your MBBS, if you want to go for PhD, you have to complete your masters and then PhD. So this is a major difference between this. No, okay.
All right. Question by Anwar. Is there any sibling discount?
No, unfortunately not.
All right. Question by Abdurrahman. Do you prepare students for USMLE during the medical program?
Yes, we do have a preparation course right for the USMLE. And I can add that we also have a student who is currently working in the US.
All right. Question by Yasmin. Does she need to do an internship before applying for the university?
No.
Okay. Question by Noor. Noor has studied three A levels in maths, physics, and biology, but chemistry she's only done in O level. So these three A levels are not accepted into the medicine, or is there any exception?
Mm. No, we can evaluate candidates. The Holly has two. So two A levels out of the three formally required. Maybe what she can do is write an email to our office that follows the admissions part. It's info, like information, at Unimed, HUNIMED.eu.
Right. Okay. And I'm
You
also
can
going to
send
be
us an
dropping in
email.
our, yeah.
Yes, go ahead,
I'll be
Zara.
dropping in
Yeah.
our contact details as well in the chat. So this is where you can share your documents, your whatever your certificates are, and then we can check your eligibility and let you know as well. But
Great.
I'm just gonna
Thank
type
you,
the
Zara.
contact details in the chat, no problem. Similar question by Pranav regarding the requirements. So Pranav, you can send your documents to us. We can check because this is a case by case. But I think we can take the second part of that question. Can he apply for the medicine program, or should he do a pre-med in case the student does not have relevant subjects?
Now, everybody can apply for can register for the admissions test despite what the studies were in high school. Of course, that being said, you need the titles that we require. For example, in case of the A levels, we require some specific A levels. But in general, with any kind of high school diploma, you can take the test.
All right. And similar question by Mayar. What are the requirements for the IB diploma curriculum students?
The only requirement is that the school where you studied or are currently studied is listed in the official list of IB schools.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me add this one that she's trying to know what will be the score she's looking for the IB points. No, so there is no specific point as long as you pass your IB, that's okay. But IB certificate is not accepted. Only IB diploma is accepted.
Okay. And as I've just mentioned before, I've dropped in the contact details as well. So this is where you can submit your documents. Question by Neil. What are the subjects that will be in the medicine and surgery course in the first, second, and the consecutive years?
Well, I would avoid like listing all the subjects because there are a lot for every year. But what can I say is that you have more basic subjects on the first years, and then they get more and more specific what you go on. But still, modules are integrated. So you would not have courses like anatomy 1 and 2, but you will have courses called like building bodies, mechanism of disease, and so on. And in our website, you can find the detailed study plan.
All right. We have a question by Hassan. If a student does the medtech program, does he become a doctor and an engineer? And what extra classes are taken? Also, can he specialize like a regular medicine degree then?
Well, I would answer for, let's say, the second part of the question. So, yes, you can work as a, let's say, regular doctor. You can specialize like all other doctors because you actually have a medicine and surgery master's degree. Okay, so you have that and you can specialize. But on the other hand, you have extra competencies and an extra bachelor degree in medical bioengineering that you can spend in a different way if you want to. As per classes, as we have our student here, I would ask him to answer directly.
Absolutely. My answer would sound maybe philosophical a little bit, but it's something I've learned over the years. Um, in in few words, yes, you're gonna be a doctor and engineer. You're gonna get an MD and a bachelor's in biomedical engineering. So in a traditional way, yes, you are. But what I've learned from the years is that you shouldn't let these certificates define you. You're a human being. You're the person, and then you do whatever you like. What you're passionate about. In couple of years, maybe I'll be doing business or something. Should I be a businessman then? No, I'm just Abdullah, the same guy, and I'm passionate about doing this at that moment. Um, that was philosophical. And in a traditional way, yes, you're gonna be a doctor and an engineer, given that you got both certificates.
All right. Question by Hannah. Could you please explain more about the MBBS and MD difference? I mean, which course would we can do directly after the MD?
I think I think he's referring to me. So, okay,
Yeah.
so so MBBS and MD both are. I mean, you will get a medical degree. Only difference is that after MD, if somebody want to pursue their PhD, they can go directly. It will not be a clinical medicine. It will be a basic medicine if you want to go for a research, like if you want to become a teacher, professor, or this one, you can go directly. While after MBBS, if you want to pursue your PhD, you have to do your master's and then PhD. Uh, but MD does not mean that you can specialize like directly in a clinical one for the PhD level. So it will be a basic thing. Like if you want to become a professor, then yes, you can go directly as compared to this MBBS. No, hope this clarify your questions. No.
Right. Question by Neil. During the clinical years, do the students have direct interaction with the patients?
I can answer this by yes, absolutely. You are in the ward and you work with your tutor and the patients. Of course, this does not mean that you work hands-on on patients. You still have not the title to do that, but you are there with doctors and patients.
All right. Question by Hassan. Is the certificate of a high school from Qatar accepted?
Yes, I would say there are no schools that we do not accept. But in case of that, I will, like, as before, ask to share the documentation so that we can evaluate it better.
Yes. Another question by Hassan. What are the things you have to study for the entrance exam?
For the medicine entrance exam, there are in our website some examples of previous year's exams, and also we can share, if you ask, a list of textbooks and materials that we suggest using to prepare.
Another question related to the entrance exam. Zina is also asking, how much time would you allocate to studying prior to the exam?
Abdallah, maybe you can answer this.
Yeah, I'd refer again to the previous answer, which is what I did actually. I looked up mock exams of the previous years, which are available on the website. There's gonna be a list that Serena's gonna share with us. There is also a there are also similar exams from the UK that are called UCAT and UMAT. Uh, which are useful in preparing for the HUMAT and the METIC admission test. You can also for the METIC part, there's more mathematics. You could prepare for that using the resources available on the Politecnico di Milano's website, which is the other university which Humanitas is collaborating with, in which you're going to study engineering if you are interested in METIC school. Um, what else? Basically, that's what I did. Time allocated, you should adapt that to your, I don't know, to your level and to your program. Time management. Again, it's about time management, and you're gonna just have a routine to study and a study plan. And good luck.
All right, thank you, Abdullah. Question by Fadi. He would like to ask about the acceptance rate for international students.
Yes, I would say it depends on the course, medicine or medtech, and on the year, but approximately 1 out of 10 students.
All right. Zaina is asking how do transfers work? Can she transfer in after doing the first degree somewhere else or vice versa, or would she still need to do the entrance exam?
Thank you for the question. It is possible to transfer. Of course, you need to be in a medical school. So, for example, you can study the first year in another place and then apply for transfer. There's a specific call that we usually public in spring. We do accept transfers only to second and third year. Once we receive your application, a commission made of professors evaluates your curriculum and the exams that you took, and they inform you also according to the number of places available that we have, if you are accepted or not, and at the same time, they inform you about which exams will be considered and which will have to be repeated. So in case you are admitted, for example, on the second year with an exam that you still have to do because in our curriculum, it has to be repeated, but no entrance exam must be done.
All right. Question by Mirin. If after they receive the degree, do they have to write the licensing exam in India? And is the degree accepted in all the countries?
So if we talk about the degree itself, yes, it is recognized worldwide. Of course, in Europe, it is recognized automatically, while in other countries, there are different procedures according to the country to have, let's say, an official document that states the diploma is recognized. While as per the licensing part, there's a specific licensing test that has to be taken and passed in each country.
All right. Question by Ahmed. Can the students switch the degree from medicine and surgery to medtech during the studies?
Yes, it is possible to do a sort of internal transfer. What we consider, what must be considered is that the two curricula are different. So if you switch from medicine to medtech, of course, you will have to recuperate the whole part of engineering that in medicine is not present. So sometimes I have to say that in the past, we do transferred some students to the medtech school, to the medicine and surgery course, but not the opposite way. But still, yes, students can ask in that case directly to the offices here in the university, and professors will evaluate their request.
All right. I can say we've answered over 30 questions. Okay, let's take last question by Hassan. Do the students have to maintain a certain score to maintain the scholarships they have?
No, but they have to be on track with the exams.
Okay. So I'd just like to include that if the parents or students would like to meet Humanitas University and Miss Serena in Dubai, Alain, or Abu Dhabi, we're going to be organizing the Global Education Expo over 3 locations. So I'm just going to be sharing the registration link, and you can check more about the expo over here as well in the chat box. Right. With that being said, I think this is where we can wrap up the webinar. And we've also mentioned our contact details in the chat, so you can always contact us to get to know more about the university, about the entrance exams, your eligibility. And thank you all for joining once again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sadina. Thank you, Abdullah, and thank you all the students for joining us, and hope to see some of you at the campus.